Hey everyone, this is Mahwash Ajaz. Welcome to a chat that we're about to have with the cast and crew of, cast mostly for the time being, of the upcoming web series Baarwan Khiladi. You may have heard about it. It's by the time you see it, you may have already caught a couple of episodes. I'm joined by Danyal, Zafar, and Shahveer, who are starring in this show. The trailer has already made a lot of waves, and I'm so happy to have you guys on board. Assalamu alaikum. Hi, how are you? How's it going?
Hey, we're good. How are you? Thank you for having us.
Yes. Very well. Thank you for giving us your time. How are the nerves right now?
The nerves are I think I don't know. I think it's like when you're backstage and you're about to step up, you know how you're feeling. It's kind of that funny feeling. So we're backstage and tomorrow we're gonna step on the stage. So
yeah,
that's how.
And plus it's a different kind of a project. It's not the, out of the lot. It's not something that you usually see on coming through from Pakistan. So we're very excited to experiment and see how people actually receive it. So we're as nervous, I guess, as the producers are right now, because we are not very sure of how people are going to see it, but we're hoping for the best, inshallah.
It's a mixture of like excitement and nervousness as well. So both.
It's a debut for Danyal, although I think that Shahveer has made his a couple of appearances, and Shahveer is natural to the digital sphere as well, right?
So this is a debut for me as well, but that being said, it is I've been used to acting because I've done a couple of projects in which they were acting in intensive. So yes, it's not super new for me, perhaps as much as it is for Danyal, but yeah, I've done a couple of projects other than.
But Danyal, I actually, somebody was debating about it with me that this is your debut, but although we've seen you in Tana Bana last year. So somebody was like, no, this is really his debut because he was working on this before he started working on Tana Bana. So why don't you let this thing to rest? What is really your debut? Technically, shouldn't it be the feature that airs first or shot first?
That's a very tricky question because personally, I think technically the debut would be something that I've shot before, because that's naturally the first time I'm stepping up in front of the camera, the first project that I've chosen as well. And it was supposed to be the opposite. Tana Bana was supposed to follow up with this, and this was supposed to come out first. So I don't know. I think because I did this first, I'll go with the natural thought process that because my system's perceiving this as the debut, so maybe I'll consider this. But wo pehle aa gaya tha, so people got to see that. So for people, I think it's not going to be my debut. But for me, it's definitely my debut. So yeah.
That's a nice way of answering the question.
Yeah.
I want to put this question to both of you that the trailer is obviously fantastic, and there are a lot of small bites that have also been released from different actors like Kinza Hashmi and Salmat Khusat as well. When we saw you, there's this intense rivalry in the trailer as well. Tell us about the shooting process, working with all these great actors, and also like Shahveer mentioned that there is a bit of, and you also said, Danyal, that there's a bit of like this nerves and anxiety, almost as the same level as the producers. When you look at the finished product now, when it's now really ready to be sent out to the world, what is the way that you look back at the project now? And looking into the future, how much of potential do you think stuff like this has in the Pakistani market?
I believe that to answer your last question, I think this is the future. This is the future for entertainment. I think OTT platforms are very, very much the new cinemas, so to speak. But Pakistan is still stuck in the time where TV is king. But I suppose, and I'm very confident about this, that in the near future, TVs will become extinct, just how radios became extinct after the television came along. So I'm very confident for the OTT platforms and the entertainment industry moving on towards the OTT platforms. Yeah. Other than that, sorry, what was the other question?
The other question is, how do you look at, now that you're that close, how do you look at the content that you've made and the content that the people are seeing? They're giving it a lot of love, but is there a different vantage point?
Honestly,
I'm sure it is.
Yeah. Yeah, when Danyal and I had the opportunity to watch the trailer for the first time when it was actually just before it was released, and we were both very surprised that it actually turned out better than our expectations. Now
I bet
and
Adnan
people
Sarwar will love to
perceive
hear
it.
this.
Oh yeah, Adnan sir all the way. Ooh. he made it into a package. He made it into a product that we didn't even expect coming out. And especially coming out from Pakistan, where you haven't seen something of this quality really come out before. So I'm very excited for that too. That this is something, as I said earlier, is out of the normal that you usually see. So yeah, I mean, we're very, very proud of the project that we have done, and I hope the hard work actually translates on screen and in people's hearts. Most importantly.
Yeah, I think the most important thing in this entire thing, carrying forward what he was talking about in terms of the OTT platform and all of that stuff, it's I think he's definitely right. The future is in is not it's all digitalized, like the entire world is digitalized now. I think content consumers now don't have the time or the energy that when when they've had a even me, when I've had a long day and I go back home, I'm not gonna like switch through channels and see what I want to watch. I will know exactly what I'm feeling, what I'm in the mood to watch. And that's what, like things, platforms like Netflix and Amazon and Spotify, they've kind of like compartmentalized a consumer's mind in a way where they know exactly what they want to see when they want to see it.
Targeting the right person in the right
yeah. So I think naturally this entire thing that कि 7 बजे ये लगेगा 8 बजे ये लगेगा 9 बजे ये लगेगा, so tune in. I don't know. I think that aspect, the digital aspect of it, is also going to overshadow everything. That's one aspect, and the second aspect, which is content, is going to overshadow this thing as well. Because on TV, everything I feel is very restricted. And in the web, it's like an open, field. You can play however you want to play.
Yeah, I also feel in TV, the producers decide what you see and when you see it. But in terms of OTT platforms,
the consumers
decide what they want to see, when they want to see, and how much of it they want to see.
Yeah, and we were able to take some liberties where there's where everything is not as, we learned this nice term that our director Adnan Sarwar used, I think, or the Tapman people used, which was sanitized. It's not, everything's not as sanitized. It's very uncensored.
Cleaned up
real.
for the PG.
Yeah, for the TV, and क्योंकि हम आपस में ऐसे बात नहीं करते, where we talk different, and that's being translated in language and body language and so many other aspects as well. So yeah.
That's great. So Shabir and Danyal, you guys have a sort of a rivalry on screen. How much of that is real, and how much of that had to be sort of manufactured? And we talk a lot about antagonists having a certain kind of chemistry on screen, and not that chemistry sometimes isn't always living up to the expectations of the way that actors perceive it, because each actor in their own way can be big in their heads. But then obviously, like you said, there is a power of a big screen, but there is also a detriment to a smaller screen. Everything, even though you want to create it larger than life, isn't always larger than life, because it's a smaller screen. It's not cinema, it's not TV. So the question is that this rivalry that you have, which you want to be magnified, what was it like shooting? And then if you've seen some of the rushes, or if you've seen some of the scenes, do you think an audience would be able to capture the scale of the antagonism?
I don't think that. I think we had to completely manufacture the rivalry, because I don't feel anything with Chavi. I don't know if he does though.
I just wanna clarify the very kind Danyal and his point of view. It's absolutely wrong. I think the rivalry is very real.
That's what I wanted to know.
We fought.
You hate each other, basically.
We fought over lines, and we fought over, like, it was like a physical altercation at one point, and the director, I'm just joking, absolutely.
I was in the edit room. I made sure that like his shots are cut off.
Oh, so that's where the real truth comes out.
Even when he's talking, I'm like, put my reaction.
Yeah. No, as Danyal said, it had to be completely manufactured, and so much so that when we actually have real intensified altercation at all times whenever we see each other. So we really had to work hard not to smile or laugh out loud in each other's faces, and that was the hardest thing, because we're not used to acting so much so, and we're friends off the screen. We were friends before, so the first scene happened to be, the first scene of the entire series when we walked on the set the first day. The first scene we're asked to do was one of the scenes, and it was like a heated argument between him and I, and one of those scenes where we couldn't stop laughing at each other. So the director would call action, and we just start burst into laughter, and it was really hard to contain ourselves, because when you tell somebody not to laugh, it's actually the hardest thing.
It's like try not to think of a pink elephant, and all you can do is think of a pink elephant.
Yeah, because our characters were
how are you?
They were supposed to literally call out to each other. The first line of the first scene of the first day of shoot was that we're gonna cuss at each other. So it was funny because A, we never thought we're gonna be cussing on screen like this. B, it's the first day, first scene. C, it's and that shot also was one of a kind shot. It was not a normal over the shoulder. It was the 360 one take for a minute. And it was a long scene, and we had to call out each other by cussing each other, and we would just burst into laughter.
So no rivalry. That's just sad. I'm not gonna get my scoop, am I?
Yeah. I think
or you're lying. Or you're lying.
No, 100%. No, हम तो आखिरी moment तक इतनी takes हैं उनके अंदर बीच में ना ये लगा हुआ है मैंने तुझे कहा था ना अच्छा यार नहीं तू हंस रहा है क्या कर रहा है सही है देखिए that's
Are we gonna see the outtakes anytime?
I really hope
so, because that's gonna prove everything we've been saying,
Okay. Awesome. So I'm joined by Hakan, who's clearly in a vlogger mode, and then there's Mir as well. Okay, he's disappeared. So hi Hakan, how are you? Welcome to the chat about Baarwan Khiladi.
Hi, how are you, Mahwash? It's good to finally see you live. I've seen a lot of your videos, a lot of your shows, and you're really good, man.
Wow, thank you. This is turning out to be a better interview than I thought. Which Danyal missed, by the way. Danyal, that's something I'm gonna bring it up later.
Oh.
No, I'm joking. Hakan, thank you for joining in. Thank you for giving us your time. We're talking with Danyal and Shavir have kindly talked about their experience of being in Baarwan Khiladi. So tell me about your experience. Tell me about being on the scale of a digital web series produced by Mahira Khan and of course directed by Adnan Sarwar. What's been your experience like, and is there any juicy negative gossip that you could possibly give us, because these guys have been useless?
My experience honestly, Mahwash, has been amazing. I got a lot to learn. I was a very fresh actor. This was my first project, so everything that I did or experienced on set was a new thing for me. So just being there, being surrounded by all of these talented people, including Danyal, including Shavir, Zarar, our director, the producers, all of these people just brought out a lot of skill that was hidden somewhere inside of me. And I felt really privileged and really lucky to have been a part of this project. Overall, it was an experience that cannot be just put into a 30-minute or an hour-long interview. And this is what I've been saying on most of the shows that I've been on so far, that everybody keeps asking us, hey, how was your experience being part of this show? And there's just no correct way for me to put that into words. But I think the one line that I could say was that it was magical and was beautiful.
Lovely. So Zarar is there, right? That's the because this is the first time I'm seeing you.
Yeah.
Hi. So tell me about your experience. What's your role like? And now that you're this close, by the time probably this airs, a lot of people may have already seen the show or got a few glimpses of it, or probably delved into it a lot more. How bad are the nerves right now?
The nerves are there right now.
Yeah.
But we're really excited. We know we're going to be putting out something really nice. It's something we really believe in. It's one of those projects. It's going to be good because you were there, you made it, you know how it is. So we're really, apart from that, in terms of the experience, I feel like whenever you do something new, it's never comfortable. And that's the one word that I can put in for this project, is that it was comfortable. Trying out something is always nerve-wracking, you're confused, you're anxious. But this one was really comfortable because of all, because of Adnan, because of the boys and the friendship that we had.
Wow, look at this! Look at this frame. You guys are in the car. He's about to go to sleep.
So like
was this what the set was like? Is the horsing around like the regular part of the set?
100%.
So Hakan, you're also familiar, like Shavir, you're familiar with the digital sort of sphere so much more, although Danyal's experience is more around music and performing on stage. So he used an allegory, and he said that a lot of the nerves are like when you're about to go on stage, and then the nerves that are there, it's kind of similar. So for you and Shavir, this is a question I'm asking the more digital guys, is that you're more used to, producing something, and you're kind of in the similar frame. When you're uploading something, although you guys are veterans, do you still get those kind of nerves, or are those nerves similar to these, different to these? Because it is the similar kind of thing, right? Producing something for just the web and then getting immediate feedback, because that's something that doesn't happen in TV, right, Danyal? It takes some bit of time for the TRPs and the producers and the executive guys to come and tell you, this is working, that's not working, that was great. So how's that different?
It's different just because of the fact that if I make something and put it up, or if Shavir makes something and put it up, we can always take it down, and we could always alter it, or we could always change our method for the next thing that we put up.
Interact with audiences on your own, that, oh, sorry, in that video, this is what we meant, and stuff like that.
Whatever we make is maybe shot in, let's say, maximum of 7 days. That's the maximum time that you could take to make a YouTube video, or maybe more for YouTube, but for an Instagram video, that's the maximum amount of time that you could put into. But with a web series like this has been going on for the past 1 year now. We shot it in 40 days, and after that, it was just an editing process that it went through. Then there was a sound score that was done for this web series alone. There were 2 songs that they made for this, and just the thought of how much work went into this project just scares me. I mean,
why? Why does it scare you?
Because I've never been part of something that was cooked for such a long time. And when something cooked for that long, it better taste good. You get it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is scary. It is more challenging that way.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think it would have been. We all would have. Sorry, sir. You dropped that question to Zarar, right?
No, there's a bit of a delay, I think, it's not going in real time. I wanted to know what.
Okay, Zarar, go ahead.
Yeah, please, Zarar, go ahead.
Exciting for me. I feel like because it's been cooking on for so long, and we're very sure of what we've done, and hopefully out of the editing room when it comes out and when it's on air tomorrow, it's gonna be good. I have a good feeling about it. I feel like what we've made it, the content, the lines, the language, everything's going to be really exciting for the viewers. So I'm just now.
Inshallah, we're really hoping that it turns out the way you guys want it to turn out. Danyal, I'm going to put this question to you. I know that you're very picky about your projects. When we saw Tana Bana also, it was a massive success, but we didn't see you for a very long time on the small screen, so to speak. Is this something, when you are now so close to Baarwan Khiladi, is this something now that is prompting you to maybe think about picking up more projects, or would you stick to just mostly focusing on your music?
I think it's not about that. It's mostly about a project that I'm offered, the script that I'm offered, what story is it, and most importantly, what character am I playing? Because as a musician, I'm expressing myself a lot as an artist. I'm really taking a deep dive within as an artist, and I'm getting a chance to really play around and experiment and test, like all the extremities extremities, sorry, as an artist, being a musician. So similarly, I think as an actor, if I'm able to express myself as a musician over here, I need something that helps me express myself as an actor that's also over here. So that obviously depends on the character and the role that I get that I'm playing.
So you'll basically,
And,
you'll continue to be picky.
Yeah, because I think Tana Bana somewhat, I wouldn't say it was a picky project. I think Tana Bana was more like, oh, I've done Baarwan Khiladi. It's gonna come out in January. Originally it was supposed to come out like when PSL was happening last year. तो मैं वही भी बात कर रहा था कि अगर ये उस टाइम पे आ रहा था तो अभी हम बहुत different feel कर रहे होते. So Khakan's right, the thing's been cooking for so long. Now we are feeling pretty different. तो उस टाइम में बस ये था कि ये मैं कर रहा हूँ and immediately ताना बाना आएगा. So बारबार खिलाड़ी on air आएगा. उसके फौरन बाद ताना बाना आ जाएगा. So it's a good back-to-back, like acting stint. So that was a huge motivating factor apart from, Tana Bana being an interesting story and everything. But now it's like, I really want to take my time and see what I want to do,
Shavir, is more acting on the cards for you? I know you get to do a lot of that on your, in your videos and in your vlogs and all the great collaborations that you do. But is something long form more like, are there any films? Are there any more dramas that you're being offered? And are you seriously thinking about something like that?
Absolutely. I mean, that's what I came to Pakistan in the first place for. I want to be an actor. I want to be a professional actor.
Wow.
So it's 100% on the cards that I am thinking about taking more acting projects. Although that being said, I want to do something that is out of the norms, that is different than what we usually see on the television. I'm not saying that what you see on the television is not good, but all I'm saying is that my personal choice or my picks would be something that is out of the norms, that is a little different, that's at least challenging, creatively challenging for an actor. So I want to pick something that I truly enjoy, and that is just, I guess, a time-taking process because we don't hear many good scripts around. They're all basically very similar to one another. So we're just, as Danyal said that he wants to take time, so do I, because I think we are at the stage of our lives where we are starting off something that could be really, really, really blissful or really important for the future. So we're just going to take our time, pick something that we really are sure about.
You're all too wise for your age. You guys need to make more mistakes, do stupid series, and
I've done that all my life with YouTube. I think I've had enough experience with YouTube.
So actually it's
Danyal hasn't, but yeah, Shavir, I think in Khakan and Shavir, because of their vlogging experience, they've really tested it all out, haven't they?
Yeah.
Danyal has been very carefully choosing and looking at what he wants to do, right?
Yeah, it's वही बात है ना, that how do you want to be seen, how do you want to express yourself, and the characters that you're playing, that really matters. And Shavir is right that most of the scripts that come out of Pakistan, they're pretty much identical, and a lot of them have for instance, more than half of the scripts that I've gotten offered from the TV domain are still that there's it's your uncle's daughter, or it's your pupo's daughter, and it's still cousin marriages and all of that stuff. And I'm like, why are we still there? So we, instead of 5 of the similar scripts of these coming, we need 5 more Baarwan Khiladi type scripts coming in. And that's what I hope this show does, that if there's a new aspiring writer, he doesn't feel that I can only write about something that's reflecting on household issues or family issues. I can write even something about hockey or table tennis or anything that's something different, out of the norm.
I mean, I always imagined a film industry to be a language that a country uses to communicate with the rest of the world. But I feel like where we're stuck is that we have shackles where the writers are not writing anything new or fresh because that's what the TV wants to show. And if the TV is kind of forced to show a certain thing because of whatever the issue is, the producers or the sponsors, then obviously the writer is not gonna evolve into writing something that is truly meaningful for the society, and
or they're not going to go to the writers who are writing different things. They're not going to even engage with writers who are just trying to explore different stories, like
Exactly,
Danyal
and
said,
we're
the non-cousin marriage type stories. Oh, hello, everyone's in one frame now. Yay. Good to have you guys together in
It's
one.
like we're in
in a different
So
frame.
I have a comment which I would want to kind of respond to. Is that how do we make sure that the content that we produce, let's say for this, something like this, or for OTT, isn't becoming or doesn't become a B-grade copy of some of the stuff we've seen coming from all over the world, like not just India, but US or UK or some of their content that it's probably not as relatable to us, though it does have the same language and a lot of sensibilities are similar. But how do we make sure that the content that we're producing for OTT, or let's look at specifically Baarwan Khiladi, and when I was looking at the trailer, I saw a lot of the aesthetic that was so purely Lahore and the language that was used. I want you guys to comment on that how do we retain the originality while also trying to be different from, let's say, TV or film or all of those other regular run-of-the-mill stories, but then also creating the kind of content which is truly Pakistani.
I think I don't think we tried to do something of the likes of India. Actually, I think the team that made Baarwan Khiladi was talented enough to realize the potential of Pakistani cinema and the culture and represent it to society in a very pure way. I strongly believe that, and that was one of the reasons that makes the script so strong and relatable. That there is a Parchi system in Pakistan that is being represented on the screen. There is a system where people are joining different sports or different fields, not on the basis of merit and due to nepotism and stuff like that. So I think it is addressing very important topics. Now, this is just a stepping stone into something that could be really amazing for the future. So we imagine if web series like these work out, actually do good business, then that inspires a lot of young writers to explore other topics that our society allows, other original, raw, real
100%.
topics that we can actually discuss on an OTT platform. That is not that the writers or the producers or the directors don't actually have the shackles that prohibits them to show that on screen. And obviously, our culture, our society, our history is deep enough and is. I mean, there's so much to discuss. There's so much that we can show on camera. I mean, take the history of Islam, how it started from all the way from that to the Mughal Emperor. Why are only Indians capturing that? Why are we not capturing that? That is because there is a huge void when it comes to film industry. So we are just trying to revive something that is not there, or to try to bring up something, try to make something that could truly change the future of film industry in Pakistan.
I think it's been very much about the fact that producers in Pakistan, and this is with all due respect, we're new, relatively new. We have a very different perspective of seeing things. We're a different generation than the generation that currently is succeeding and is at that saturation point and at that peak. We, however, feel that it's kind of like it's something like this, that we have this hunger that producers need to realize that there's a lot more out there, and we're playing very safe with very safe topics and repeating them in just different ways. So there's so many, I don't think like actors maybe themselves even realize that, hey, are we kind of like in the rut of doing similar roles? Like how is this?
They do question themselves. They get their
So it was like and I think more than that, what matters is that, like Shabir mentioned, that like India is doing that a lot. You see you see what they did with Bajirao Mastani. There's so many stories that are untold, that are not looked upon or explored, events that have happened in Pakistan. A lot of this has to do with us not owning ourselves, our culture, our heritage. And just for instance, I've been in school, right? I've been in school and I've studied in an English medium school in Lahore. And over there, the irony is that Punjabi as a language is really looked down upon in schools. English medium schools, they don't encourage you to talk in Punjabi. And because of that, even I grew up with the complex that, me talking in a Punjabi dialect even, or, in a style even if I'm speaking in Urdu, that's something that's just not good or cool. And then boom, like naturally, as I'm growing older, I'm going to be stepping away. And I did step away from Punjabi. I never thought in my life I would make a Punjabi song or do a role that is so heavy in terms of the Punjabi accent. Ki ladka zara bahar ka ladka hai yaar aise. Like I never thought I'd do that at that time. If you ask that kid, would you do this? He'd laugh and be like, I'd never do this. This is something that needs to change. We need to really, really, really help the generation that's coming up. We need to make them realize this is who we are, and we need to own that. You see that reflected in Mirzapur. There's a reason that Mirzapur is so good, because there's so many people who can relate to that, and we just hide away from it. There's this post-colonial mindset that we're stuck in.
And even in Hollywood, they're Mexican stars, they speak in that accent, and it's not considered nobody looks down on that accent. And nobody.
Why is it that an Urdu speaking individual from Pakistan, if they mess up speaking in English, they're made fun of. They're made fun of. But if there's a French person or an Italian person or a German and they're speaking in broken English, Italians are not going to make fun of it.
It's like,
because they pride in their own language. That's it. That's what it is.
And if a foreign speaker messes up speaking Urdu, it's considered cute. It's considered funny. Not funny, but cute. And I'd like to add to Danyal's point that the fact that we don't own our identity, and the fact that we and all these things happen, is not just sad because of the mere existence of such a phenomenon. It is sad because of this we don't make content, and because we don't make content that revolves around our culture, revolves around our identity and culture do not develop and do not evolve. So the reason why there is not much cult Pakistani heroes anymore, the reason why there's no identity, is because people do not have content to form that identity around, or to derive their identity from certain said content.
There's a few commercial songs that I can make, and I know that they're gonna get millions of views and streams, but then I can serve the art and help in a way that I put something out there that's very experimental and pushes the bounds of music industry. Similarly, it's not necessary that if you're talking about different topics or making content about something else other than Saas Bahu, and you're making another web series or anything like that that's of a different topic, it's not. If this is the formula that we're supposed to just get millions and millions of views, or utne hi views, that product is supposed to get as many views or TRP or ratings, then we're not going to get anywhere. We're going to be only chasing numbers. Do you want to chase numbers, or do you want to level up the industry and spread its sphere creatively? That's what it is.
So my last question to you all is about the future of OTT in Pakistan. As you know, that TapMad is definitely trying upgrade, and there's a lot of hope from Baarwan Khiladi. So no pressure there, guys. But there is this entire field which is completely wide open. We keep talking about Netflix and Amazon and other streaming platforms coming to Pakistan, but we don't know what the future is like as yet. Tell me about your hopes and your understanding of what you see as OTT content coming to Pakistan, and then obviously what is the kind of expectations you have? Do you think there'll be more? Do you think this might just be one of the few flashpoints of great digital content, or do you feel that this could just be the beginning? And what are the feelers that you're getting from within the industry about OTT platforms and OTT content?
I honestly feel like this is beginning of something special. I usually have the understanding that Pakistan is about 5 years late to new trends.
Everything.
So when I decided to make my social media presence, when I started work on my social media presence, I realized that Although Pakistan is not bringing in a lot of views right now, and people are not taking the social media celebrities as seriously, at that time I decided that there's gonna be a time when they do, because at the time I was noticing a change with social media in the West, and I realized whatever happens in the West, it makes down its way to Pakistan in about 5 or 6 years. So we do see that change with the OTT platforms and the way the cinema is changing as a whole in the world. I believe that in the next 5 years, this is going to be the gold mine that every next big producer is going to make the most money out of. And I strongly, strongly, strongly believe that this is the future. I mean, TVs are going extinct 110%. They are extinct. Your new television is your cell phone, and you cannot watch TV on that, which is basically produced by somebody who will decide what to show and when to show. You'd rather, as we discussed earlier, that you go on Netflix or you go on Amazon or you go on TapMad and just watch something that is completely your choice at the time of your
choosing,
your convenience. So I truly believe that TapMad and platforms like that are the future, 110%.
Yeah, I think like the biggest aspect about of an OTT platform is that it's taking the power from like a producer, and solely sponsors. I mean, in a way, producers, in the sense that producers who, like you said, are deciding, the only ones deciding what content we're going to make and what content we're going to show.
I have a comment here because a lot of TV producers take issue with that, and they say that we're not deciding what content we're giving you guys. We are producing these cousin marriages and all these kind of shows because the audience wants it. So the TRPs are coming from them. So what do you say about that? They say the same thing.
I mean, it's.
I'm sorry. Can I add something to that? I don't think that to be true, because when Artugrul came out, it broke all records. So was that not something different? So I felt like the audience is hungry for something different. It's just that we're stuck in a loop that the audience won't see anything new, so you won't produce anything new.
Yeah,
and it's just like a never.
Yeah, you're not gonna.
That like the channels and the producers are not taking enough risks. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, 100%. At the end of the day, look, business is all about, if you look at the business aspect of it as well, business is all about taking a risk. Yeah. If you're an entire new generation, an entire new wave is coming up. In 2018, I said this about music. I said hip hop is going to be the new wave. No one believed me, and boom, it's here. So similarly, it's kind of like this, that you're making the same product over and over again, and you're not willing to take risk because you're saying कि चलता ही है. आप बनाते ही हो, you make this thing. So he's right. You're stuck in a loop of, oh, this is what the audience wants. Oh, because you're only making this. Oh, because this is the only thing that the audience wants. How can you know if you're not going to experiment with, like, if I say any TV channel or any production house, we give them a challenge, make 10 dramas without the Saas Bahu issue. Now let's see what happens, like 10 different dramas and 10 different topics. In fact, we're not even saying, spread your horizon in a way that it's around family issues and, do something about that. We're saying like choose different topics, like do different things, like spread your entire sphere of what you want to make content about. But no one's willing to do that. So the power of the OTT platforms is that they're taking the power from people who are calling the shots, and they're giving it to the consumer and to the creator. Chalo, let's try and play and see what happens. Of course, there's going to be some failures in it, but you got to take these risks. Otherwise, there's no growth.
Yeah, Hakan, you were saying something.
Yeah. Also, it's such an absurd idea that the audience wants a cousin marriage or an incestuous relationship. That's just untrue, because what they're doing is, it's just lazy writing. They just want the two people involved in a relationship to just casually be in one house. That's just lazy writing at best, and also just bad production budgets where they don't want to spend on two locations where there's two different houses. Ek banda yahan reh raha hai, ek bandi yahan reh raha hai. That's just lazy writing, and it's just a bad excuse. Why would the audience want a specific type of incestuous relationship? That just does not make sense to me. If the audience wants romance, it could be between just two very random people. All of the most successful films and dramas in the world have been romances between two strangers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just your regular hero. So that's just lazy writing.
That's something that needs to be.
Yeah, Zarar is trying to say something. Yeah, Zarar.
Yeah, so I was saying that when you're in the business of making art and you're still trying to play it safe, and you're making the same thing all over and over again, just because you think that the TRPs are good and the reviews are good, but the fact is that at the same time, that's literally all you're making. And when something article comes out, it literally breaks boundaries and shatters every kind
Records,
of view results that you've always had. So I feel like digital is literally the future of everything, and we've extracted TV for everything that it had and more. And I feel like it's dying out now. So I feel like we are the pioneers, hopefully, of something digital. And I feel like
I'm here.
Baarwan Khiladi is one story out of thousands of stories that are
that could be told. Yes.
Yeah. So and it had nothing to do with love. It had nothing to do with cousin marriages. It had nothing to do with any of the things that we usually see on TV. So this is just a single drop in the ocean of a lot of stories that you could tell.
Great stories will hopefully follow. Yeah, we hope so. Thank you so much for your time. Is there any closing comment you'd want to make? Because I know that by this time, most probably a lot of people may have already seen the episodes that have come on TapMad. So is there anything you'd like to say to those people who may have watched a bit of it?
इतना harshly judge ना करें. पहली दफा web series बनाई है local platform ने, उसको space दें, उसको margin दें. Look at the first shows that India produced. Look at the first shows that a lot of different countries produce. It's a trial and error process. हम भी बिल्कुल नए एक्टर्स हैं, पहली दफा एक्ट कर रहे हैं. हमें बिल्कुल उस पेडेस्टल पे रख के ना जज करें जो वेटरन एक्टर्स को आप करते हैं. हमें समझे कोई बच्चे आए हैं और वो एक दफा कोशिश कर रहे हैं, हमें वो मार्जिन दें. आई एम श्योर हम फ्यूचर में बेहतर करेंगे. अगर आपको अच्छा लगा है तो हमें वो सपोर्ट और हमें वो प्यार दें जो आप किसी अपकमिंग एक्टर को या फॉरेन एक्टर को देंगे. थैंक यू.
So for somebody who's not understanding Urdu, just want to quickly translate that he's asking people. I'm sure he can translate as well, but basically give them the margin if there are any errors. Yeah, Hakan, Zarar, what would be your comment be for everyone who's probably just watched a bit of it?
I just want to say that we've all taken a big risk with everything, with it being an OTT platform, with it being a different story, with the language that we're using. We all know how people can be very judgmental in terms of the language that we're using in Pakistan. So give us a chance, give us a chance, and let us rise. We're all starting out here, and we want you to just give us a chance and give these stories a chance.
Shavir?
I just want to say that I'm sure that people are going to absolutely love this series. So if you're watching it, keep on watching because it gets better.
It gets better. Okay. All right, Danyal. What would you like to say?
Just watch it with an open heart, and we hope that you enjoy it. And like Hakan said, if there's anything that you feel we missed out on or anything, or if we've really raised your expectations and you're like, what's this, then just let us know with love and not with a lot of not as harsh, and don't judge, and just take it easy. We're just a bunch of guys who are trying to do something different and trying to just push beyond norms. So let's do it together instead of trying to bring each other down.
Awesome.
Let's help each other grow.
Thank you so much. I really hope that I think it will, because Adnan is a fantastic director. I loved Motorcycle Girl. He's got such a great eye for characters, and I'm sure that he's done justice, and I'm sure you guys have done them justice as well. Thank you so much for your time. I wish you best of luck. I haven't seen it.
Thank you.
So excited about it. Thank you for your time. Best of luck. Godspeed. Guys, do check out Baarwan
Thank you for having us
on TapMad. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Have a good day, guys. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.